Hello, everybody. Welcome to Step Up Lives, yet another video on helping you better get jobs. Today, we have ACCIOJOB founder Yashwardhan with us, and he will be talking to us about the program of developing you into a full stack developer. कुछ चीजें मैंने अभी तक पता करी हैं इस प्रोग्राम के बारे में कि ये प्रोग्राम आप कोई भी बैकग्राउंड से हो, बीएससी हो, बेबी आप एमएससी हो या बीकॉम हो, कहीं से भी अब हो, आप एक 6 मंथ्स का फुल स्टैक डेवलपर का कोर्स कर सकते हैं और जॉब पा सकते हैं। और ये जो कोर्स है एक पे पोस्ट प्लेसमेंट प्रोग्राम है। तो मैं थोड़ा सा आप लोगों को इनकरेज करूंगा कि आप डेफिनेटली इस वीडियो को अंत तक देखिएगा, बिकॉज फाउंडर हमारे साथ हैं। हम सारे सवाल उनसे पूछने वाले हैं कि किस तरीके से ये आइडिया आया और किस तरीके से ये प्रोग्राम आपको हेल्प कर सकता है, और बहुत सारी नई चीजें आपको जानने मिलेंगी। वेलकम यशवर्धन।
थैंक यू सो मच कोमल फॉर हैविंग मी।
राइट, सो पहले सवाल से बढ़ते हैं कि ये ACCIOJOBS का जो आइडिया है या जो कॉन्सेप्ट है वो आपने क्यों शुरू किया, और थोड़ा आप अपने बारे में भी थोड़ा बैकग्राउंड बताएं सो दैट लोग आपके बारे में भी जाने और इस कंप्लीट कॉन्सेप्ट के बारे में।
श्योर थिंग। तो जितना लोगों को लगता है कि एक अचानक से एक आइडिया आया होगा दिमाग में एंड सडनली वी स्ट्रक गोल्ड, वी स्टार्टेड बिल्डिंग समथिंग एंड इट बिकेम बिग, दैट इज नॉट एग्जैक्टली हाउ आवर स्टोरी गोज, राइट? So I have had a much longer story to be able to reach here and come here, right? So I come from a tier 2 town, Vadodara, Gujarat, right? If people are aware. So I did my entire schooling there, everything there, and then fortunately got into IIT, right? So that is the first time when I came outside of Vadodara and I came to IIT Delhi, and I didn't have a lot of exposure towards so many things. What is going on in the market? What is the opportunity like? And when I came to IIT, I opted for doing my bachelor's in mechanical engineering, right? And it was a natural choice for me because I thought that I like physics and I should take mechanical, right? And people around me used to say mechanical is always evergreen, right? That is what people say. And उसके बाद में आया IIT, तब फर्स्ट ईयर में मुझे रियलाइज हुआ कि यार यहाँ पे आगे समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं, that's not exactly how it is going on, right? The market is there. There are opportunities in one particular field which are much higher than any other field, right? And वहां से it struck me that it's not just me, right? Me, after getting a good rank, can make an uninformed decision. Then so many other people like me are making such uninformed decisions, right? So फिर वहीं से मेरी जर्नी स्टार्ट हुई towards like helping people do better in their careers, right? So from my second year of college, I started getting some speaking engagements, right? I used to seek them. तो मतलब मैं चाहता था कि ऐसे प्रगति मैदान था दिल्ली में पास में, तो वहाँ पे एजुकेशनल एग्जीबिशंस होते रहते हैं. So then I started getting invited as speaker there कि आके बच्चों को address करो and just give them an opinion, give them an idea about what is going on, what the market is like, right? And वहाँ से ये journey start हुई, and then I started speaking at more and more such events, addressing more and more people, and I felt good about the fact that yes, if not anything else, these students can make a much more informed decision after this, right? And फिर वही हुआ, life went on, IIT खत्म हुआ, IIT जाते हैं सब लोग campus placement के लिए. I also got a job out of campus. I started working, shifted to Gurgaon, rented a flat, started staying with a few friends. All of us were doing our jobs, right? And almost like spent 1 year in that job. It was a analytics consulting job, right? So I used to work for like US based clients, and used to work late night, crunch numbers for them, build models for them. And then one fine day I was like, this is not the impact which my work, I cannot feel the impact my work is making, right? And there's so many problems. India में अब यहाँ देखो वहाँ देखो हर जगह कुछ नई problem दिखती है, right? Which can be solved. So that is the point when I sort of decided that this is the right time for me to dive in and build something for myself, right? And I'm someone who comes from a business family, right? So I want to become an entrepreneur. I always wanted to do that. So फिर वहीं से start हुआ कि I left that job, started ACCIOJOB. But when we started ACCIOJOB, I got along my friends as well, right? All of us are like, we are 4 founders. All of us are batchmates from IIT Delhi, have been friends for like 9 years now. And वहीं से start हुआ है ये पूरा journey. And when we started ACCIOJOB, actually it was a different idea altogether, which we had thought of, right? And we went in, we dived into that idea, we went into the market, we talked to मैंने खुद ने, I have met like 500 plus placement cells and placement officers of colleges, right, across the entire North India belt. And this was pre-COVID, so everything was offline, right? I used to go there and meet them and interacted with thousands of students along the way, a lot of companies which I talked to. And the biggest idea was that initial few months I need to talk to as many people and understand ki boss, what is this problem exactly? why are colleges only averaging 25-30% placements, right? When they're spending 3 years, 4 years with a student, that much time is enough to impart skills so that the student becomes employable at least, right? Not everyone will directly go to Google, but at least they should become employable, because those are the promises being made at the time of admission, right? When you say 95%, 100% placement when you're admitting, you should be delivering on that, right? But तो बहुत सारी problems we spotted कि यार training methodologies are poor, skills पे focus नहीं है, implementation पे focus नहीं है, कॉलेज का इंसेंटिव नहीं है यार, कॉलेज का ध्यान मैक्सिमम है एडमिशन के लिए मार्केटिंग करने में, right? So all of these things which we saw as big problems, we were like we should dive in to solve these, right? And we realized that then we started sort of working to more towards that, how can we equip students with better training, better opportunities on their doorstep, right? And वहां से ACCIOJOB का पूरा journey has started. We started with our first cohort of upskilling students in October 2020. And since then, there's been no looking back, because in the first cohort, we started with a small cohort, right? We started with 45 students, started training them very, very rigorously. It was just us 4 founders then, right? So Harsh, who's our CTO, was the instructor. I used to be the person who used to manage the entire batch, keep talking to these students, help them do better on interview preparation, how can they improve their communication, confidence, personality, their resume, their portfolio, everything. And that is where sort of the first cohort where we started realizing, जब हमने देखा कि पहले 2 महीने हुए थे cohort में, and we saw that 2 people getting into Amazon, and we were like, okay, this is high value, this is high impact, क्योंकि जो बच्चे हमारे साथ पढ़ने आए हैं, they are people who are essentially either looking at being unemployed out of college, either looking at preparing for GATE for a few years, right, and still not being able to clear it because GATE has less seats, like the conversion is 1-2%, not everyone gets in, right? Or they are looking at getting into a service-based company like TCS, Infosys, because that is all the opportunity which is coming to their college essentially, right? So उनका जब product-based company में job लगता है at an average salary of 8.5 LPA, their life is changing, right? They realize it now even more, because now few of our older batch students have started switching their jobs after spending 1 year in that job, right? So now they realize that I was at 9 LPA, now I am at 22 LPA, right? The guy recently jumped to PayPal, and he was like, I jumped to PayPal, and I was like, this is amazing, right? This is how career trajectories can change essentially and go on an exponential track. And that is essentially the sort of the impact which I wanted to realize out of my work always, right? And today when place students come to office to meet the team, meet us, they come with a box of sweets, and that is essentially what is the biggest driver for all of us, I think. Correct. So that's been our story. Have been at ACCIOJOB, running ACCIOJOB for last 3.5 years now. And before that have been working on the career space, trying to add some value for students for 5 more years, right? So it's been a longest journey, I would say. And I think any company being built, any startup being built, is built on persistence. Every day we show up, we try to make our training better, we try to add more value to the student, we try and understand how can we resolve their problems better, right? And that is why we are where we are now. Right.
So Yash, I mean, listening to that inspiring story, I mean, it has actually given me a lot of motivation to see that, I mean, how you've transformed. Being a mechanical engineer myself, I can completely relate to the evergreen dialogue that most of us are been hearing about mechanical engineering. But one thing is true, that if you've done mechanical engineering, you could definitely switch to the IT domain. That was something, an advantage that I had already had on back of my, palms there. So moving on to the next aspect, Yash, because we've heard about good placements and how people can actually get enrolled to ACCIOJOBs. I'll actually also put your website along with it, that how actually people get through. Can you just give us an overview? Who can really apply? Are there any strict rules that probably no, tier 1 colleges are required, city 1 colleges are required? What is it that अगर आप किसी बच्चे को चाहें कि वो full stack developer बनना चाहे, अपनी जिंदगी बदलना चाहें, तो किस तरीके से हो सकता है?
Absolutely. I think for us the eligibility criteria is very simple. इसके पीछे भी एक छोटी सी short story है, वो बताता हूँ. तो हमने जब first batch start किया था, we were of the opinion कि हम लोग CSIT बच्चों को लेते हैं, क्योंकि उनको at least basics आते होंगे और उसके ऊपर उन्हें हम upskill करेंगे, right? And that is what we thought initially when we were starting off. And then we interacted with a lot of BTech CSIT people, and we could see कि इन्हें तो यार barely जो हम 10 दिन पढ़ाते हैं program में starting में, सिर्फ उतना ही आता है. उससे ज्यादा
Correct.
तो इन्हें भी नहीं आता है, right?
Right.
Then we were like, then why have any eligibility criteria at all, right?
Correct.
And then we removed all eligibility criteria. We were like, now anyone is eligible if you are in final year of college, or now we have opened it up for 2023 batch also, right? They're about to come in their
Right.
final year. तो अगर आप
Right.
23 बैच के हो या फाइनल ईयर कॉलेज 22 बैच के हो या उसके पहले ऑलरेडी अ ग्रेजुएट हो, right, then you are very much eligible for the program, right? You can be from any background. We have had BCom students, we have had BA art students, we have had BBA students, we have had LLB students also, right? And sometimes, for a surprise, we have had MBA students also, right?
Right.
So anyone, any background is eligible. There's no cutoff on your 10th or 12th marks, right? Recently, a person got placed in Myers with less than 60%, right? This is a fear in people's heads.
Correct.
That 60% से कम है मेरा 10th में या 12th में या कॉलेज में, तो मैं एलिजिबल हो ही नहीं सकता हूँ किसी प्लेसमेंट में,
Right.
right?
Right.
And recently this guy got placed at 10 LPA, right? Less than 60%, and he was like, I'm not able to sit in my college's company, most of them,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
And so no cutoff on your past background, your past marks. There is no, like, there is literally no eligibility. You don't need any prior programming knowledge also, right?
Correct.
So that is how the essentially the eligibility part works. In terms of selection, right? So we have a pay after placement program. And what are we essentially trying to filter out if we don't expect any prior coding knowledge, right? What we need from the student essentially is what we have realized is high motivation, right?
Correct.
If the student is willing to put 6 hours a day with us for 6 months, that means we are absolutely confident of placing that student, right?
Correct.
And that is why we have a selection process in place on our platform, right? So if they just go to ACCIOJOB.com, you can sign up there. You can go through the selection process. You will come across a few recorded modules, right? Recorded
Right.
modules will actually help you learn very, very fundamentals of programming. Just the basics like variable kya hota hai, hello world program, loops, conditionals, arrays. That's it, right? Just scratching the very surface. Those modules will help you learn, practice. We have a Discord community with it where you can discuss doubts with your friends, peers who are going through it, right? And you spend 5, 6, 7 days on it, right? We expect around 15 to 20 hours of effort on the modules, right? And it is self-paced. So the student can take 10 days also, 15 days also, 5 days also, right? And once they are done with those modules, they can take a test based on those modules and then an interview based on those modules again, right? No extra coding knowledge is required apart from what is covered in those modules, right? And once he clears the interview, he's through to the main batch, right? Then he works hard with us. He gets, when the next batch is starting on 11th of April, for example, right? So if you clear the selection process before 11th of April, you can join the 11th April batch. And once you join the 11th April batch, we will give you a 7-day trial there also, right? So first 7 days, you can just take the program, understand how the training is, understand everything about our teachers, our mentors, how our platform works. There's a huge amount of help and resources and problem solving and practice on our platform as well. So understand everything about it. Get conviction and get convinced that yes, ACCIOJOB can add value to your lives and towards learning, right? And towards making you a software developer. And once you are convinced, then you either sign the ISA agreement, which is the income share agreement, or what we call the pay after placement agreement, right? And then you don't pay us anything in the beginning, right? Absolutely zero. You got to pay us only after you get placed, and that too above 5 LPA, and that too once you get your first salary in your bank account. Nothing before that, right? So essentially, the student is completely financially independent to take up the program. Right. And once they are in, they start working hard with us every day for 6 months, right? And when from the 4th month onwards, the placements will start, and placements will keep happening till the 12th month. So with the student, we essentially have a 12-month agreement. In these 12 months, we get them placed above 5 LPA. If not, they don't pay us anything at all. Right. So I think just go for it. You don't have to pay a single rupee anywhere, right? So sign up. Even the pre-course modules are highly rated by students, right? So students have enjoyed the free modules which we have put for them to learn the basics of programming, right? And we've gotten great feedback for that also, right? So if nothing else, you can at least give that a shot and get started, right, for yourself. And that will actually help you get over that initial inertia of coding, right? I think getting started with coding is a big inertia step which people need to cross. Especially people like me. I am a self-learned programmer myself, so I know if people are coming from mechanical, civil, or all other branches, they would fear coding and programming. right?
Correct.
So, but once
Correct.
they get started, they would find it that, okay, that's not so hard, right?
Right. Right.
So I would say just give it a shot and see for yourself, and take the 7-day trial also if you get selected. If you
Correct.
think we can add value, go for it.
Right. So, what I'd like to also suggest, just to add what Yash said, that the link of the program is there in the description. You could just sign up. You don't have to pay initially anything, as the program said as pay post प्लेसमेंट राइट सो एक्चुअली मुझे थोड़ा सा उस बारे में भी बात करनी थी स्पेसिफिकली क्योंकि काफी लोगों के मन में ये डर है आई मीन आई विल बी ऑनेस्ट विथ यू दैट पे पोस्ट प्रोग्राम जो है वो मतलब लोगों को फंसाने के लिए बनाए जाते हैं इस तरीके के लोग जो हैं अफवाहें और इस तरीके की जो गलत माइंडसेट लोगों ने फैला रखा है कि भाई आप सोचें कि भाई आपको बाद में देना है तो बहुत ज्यादा देना होता है और वो गलत चीज है सो व्हाट इज योर व्यू ऑन दैट फैक्ट कंसिडरिंग आप इतना इन्वेस्टमेंट उन पर करते हैं इन टर्म्स ऑफ the knowledge as well as I'll also like to touch upon please talk about your team a little bit maybe at end of this answer probably why do you think it is a win-win actually this scenario so could you just elaborate
Absolutely. I think there is some sort of a मतलब नया आया है pay after placement and income share agreement and where you can pay us after you get placed above a minimum threshold salary, right? So ये concept नया है. So it will take some time for people to build that trust and absorb it, right? Our idea of coming up with pay after placement essentially was to bridge the trust with the student, right? क्योंकि edtech में जो है for years, right, there has been a lot of mis-selling in terms of programs, right, that you will get output. And I when I say edtech, I would also include colleges to some extent, to be very honest, right? And matlab outcomes pe focus has always been low, right? It is, I don't deny that a Udemy program or a Udemy course will add some value to you. It will, right? That is good quality content being taught in a right manner. But what our students essentially need, right? We could realize this very quickly that हमारे students जो tier 2, tier 3 से आ रहे हैं colleges से, right? They have very less exposure, right? और उनकी भी गलती नहीं है और कुछ हद तक उनकी भी गलती कहूँगा, right? Because so how I see it is that one, the system has definitely failed them, right? Hasn't been able to impart the right skills to them. Second, the environment which they got, उनका कोई सीनियर गया नहीं है प्रोडक्ट बेस्ड कंपनी में, उनके कैंपस में कोई प्रोडक्ट बेस्ड कंपनी नहीं आती. दे डोंट नो हाउ एग्जैक्टली टू प्रिपेयर फॉर इट. दे डोंट नो एग्जैक्टली कि सेकेंड ईयर में मुझे क्या सीख के प्रोजेक्ट बनाने लगने चाहिए ताकि मेरा रिज्यूमे लुक्स मच बेटर, राइट? तो अब कोई है नहीं जो उनके लिए मॉक इंटरव्यू ले सके उनके साथ एक, राइट? कोई है नहीं जो उनको डाउट सॉल्विंग में मदद कर सके. सो देयर इज अ लॉट ऑफ एस्पेक्ट्स व्हिच द स्टूडेंट नीड्स हेल्प ऑन, which is not really available for the student right now. One, right? Second, we could see that student की भी कुछ हद तक गलती है because internet is a big pool of resources which they didn't really explore a lot, right? So I would say that part students also could explore a little bit more online, right? But the whole idea of us coming out with pay after placement was that we wanted to impart all of this value, right? कि हम लोग बच्चे को mentor की जरूरत होगी, हमें पता है उसको guidance, constant guidance and hand holding की जरूरत होगी. We need to give one-on-one sessions every 10 to 15 days for every student, right? With our mentors. We know we have to give it to them. We know that we need to make sure that the student goes through at least 5 to 6 technical mock interviews. We know he has to go through at least a few mock HR interviews. We know that he has to learn quite a lot. There will be a high quality instructor which will be needed to actually help the student out, learn all of it. There'll be project building sessions which we'll have to set up for the student so that he actually starts working and building stuff, not just doing it for the sake of it. We know there will be at least thousands of doubts which the student will face on his learning journey, right? So we need to make sure that we have adequate doubt solving help available, mentors available whenever they need and whenever they come up with doubts, right? We also know that they don't have access to all of the top class opportunities which are needed, राइट? तो हमें अपॉर्चुनिटीज भी उनके लिए लेके आनी जरूरी है क्योंकि वो खुद से बेस्ट ऑफ अपॉर्चुनिटीज को टैप नहीं कर पाएंगे, राइट? तो व्हेन वी इमेजिन दैट बॉस, दिस इज ऑलमोस्ट लाइक रनिंग अ कॉलेज, राइट? So the part where it comes, where how we can differentiate is that we guarantee the outcome to you. We tell you that boss, we will give you each and everything which I just said, right? We know it is required on your learning journey. We know that we have to structure your journey properly, right? And the whole idea of giving a guaranteed outcome was that so that we can easily bridge trust with the student, right? कि student को ये ना लगे that I have to pay a 1 lakh rupee fee. I have already paid 8 lakh, 10 lakh to my college for 4 years of education here. You're asking me for 1 more lakh for this particular program, right? When it becomes pay after placement, the student is not asking for money from their parents. right?
Correct.
They get a salary. When they get their first salary, then they pay us the first installment, right?
Correct.
And we've kept it also as reasonable as we can, right? Because there's a lot of things we need to manage and run, and so many stakeholders a student interacts with across his 6 months
Correct.
of learning journey, right?
Correct.
But still, we have tried to understand that we don't, as a student, and when I'm getting into a job, I wouldn't want to be bounded कि मेरे सिर पे 3 साल 5 साल का लोन है या कुछ है, right?
Correct.
We've tried to minimize it. We've kept it as a 12-month payback period कि आप place हो जाओ 12 महीने में निपट जाएगा, right? Payback. And right, so the whole idea essentially with a guaranteed outcome and placement was that, boss, this is different. This is not just any other edtech online course which you purchase and you start and you never finish it, right?
Correct.
This is not so. This is not another course where you will just get a unidirectional content flow on top of you, right?
Correct.
This is a place where we at ACCIOJOB we clearly tell to every student entering main batch that, boss, your learning is infinite. आपको पढ़ने के लिए 10 revision session चाहिए, 10 one-on-one mentorship session चाहिए, सब मिला. उस पे कोई रोक टोक हमें कभी लगाना ही नहीं है. Because the whole idea is that the student and our goal is the same now, right? कि हमें भी उसको अपस्किल करके प्लेस कराना है, उसे भी अपस्किल होके प्लेस होना है, उसे भी प्रोडक्ट बेस्ड कंपनी अपने करियर के लिए अच्छी जगह पे जाना है, right?
Correct.
So then the whole idea is कि now you are with us, boss. We will work hard with you, whatever it be, right? You are finding it tough to cope up. You are finding it easy to cope up. You want more problems. You want more doubt solving session. You want more mock interviews, right? So everyone's need is also a little varied there, right?
Correct.
Someone is a slow learner, someone is a fast learner, all of those things. So the idea behind pay after placement was कि हम लोग easily student से trust bridge कर पाए, right? कि हम लोग नहीं बोल रहे कि आप आके मुझे 2 लाख रुपए दो और मैं एक और डिग्री दे दूंगा आपको छाप के, right? वो नहीं है हमारा. तो हमारा आउटकम हमारे यही था क्लियरली कि यार हम लोग इस तरह से ट्रेन करना चाहते हैं कि हम आपको आउटकम्स रियलाइज करवा पाए, right? And the market is so supportive, right? Software development right now, to be very honest, there is so much opportunity in software dev right now. And that is why we are also able to guarantee the fact that, boss, if you work hard with us and upskill, we are very, very confident that these companies need exactly what we are training you on, right? They're desperate to hire talent like you if you work hard with us for a few months, right? So that was the idea behind starting a pay after placement bootcamp. We realized that एक point यहाँ पे आता है कि India में जो है family is generally safe for education, right? Fortunately, unlike abroad where people take loans and stuff for their education generally, in India families थोड़ा बहुत save कर लेते हैं, right? तो इसीलिए हम लोगों ने upfront option भी add कर दिया कि if you think we are misselling or something, you find a course which, and upfront option is even cheaper, right? 50,000. So it's like if you think you can find a course in the market which offers you all possible help, right? Be it unlimited mock interviews, unlimited mentorship sessions, so many live doubt sessions and live lecture sessions, right? And is still offering you it at a cheaper price, then you tell me, right? We are trying to do our best to provide high quality education, honestly, right? And upskilling people will make a huge difference to their lives, is what we honestly believe. So that was the idea behind pay after placement. Yeah.
Yes. And yes, actually, I just wanted to add one more thing. Just what I feel about these programs is that it's the sheer confidence of the founders and people like you. Because see, end of the day, आज 200 रुपए का प्रोग्राम के लिए भी ऑनलाइन वो आपको पहले प्रोग्राम नहीं दे रहे हैं, वो पहले आपसे पैसे ले रहे हैं कि भाई मेरे को प्रोग्राम पसंद आए ना आए, आपको पैसे तो दे देने हैं क्योंकि आपको थोड़ी प्रीव्यू देख के पैसे दे देने हैं. तो that confidence of investing time of almost 6 odd months or maybe around a year on a student and then going ahead with it, तो I'm definitely sure that it is clear a win-win, because अगर win-win होता है तो दोनों parties के लिए अच्छा होता है. So that is how it proceeds further. Yes, I just wanted to also maybe talk to you about what is your team like, because a lot of people would like to know that वो किन के साथ काम करेंगे, या जैसे आप ही हैं, जैसे आज हम आपसे मुलाकात कर रहे हैं कि IIT Alumni, everybody looks up to IIT. I mean, whatever you might say about IIT, about mechanical engineering, but yeah, come on, it demands a lot of respect today. So can you just talk about who are your mentors, how are your team, where they come from a little bit, so that people know किसके साथ काम कर रहे हैं तो मजा आएगा.
Absolutely. So our idea was very, very clear. हम लोग को आपने जो कहा कि IITs are a little more respected and sort of एक वो आ जाता है कि वो IIT से ये वो, right? मेरा opinion थोड़ा सा इससे neutralized है.
Because you've been there.
Like IIT, because I've been there, I understand totally, right? I've been amongst all of those people, right? So मेरा opinion कुछ ऐसा है कि I'm like कि कोई भी college से tier जो भी हो college का, but अगर बंदे में talent है तो he is good for me. Right, but our team, most of it, if you look at our mentors and instructors, right, our instructors are typically people who are 1 to 2 to 3 years of experience in the industry, working at great product-based companies, right from Google, Microsoft, Amazon,
Correct. Correct.
Nutanix, Schlumberger, all of them are working at top companies, have cleared placements into these companies, know how to prepare for those companies really well, right?
Right.
And usse bhi bada differentiator, I think, is that a lot of people come from these product-based companies, right? What we try and make sure is that their feedback from students, right, कि वो कैसे पढ़ाते हैं, that has to
Right.
be exceptional, right? कि
Correct.
student बोल दे क्लास के बाद कि मजा आ गया, राइट अगर वो हो रहा है तो वो इंस्ट्रक्टर इज ऑन फॉर मी अगर वो टीयर 2 से है तो भी चलेगा मुझे बट अगर बच्चा बोल रहा है कि हाँ पढ़ के मजा आ गया है right so that is the biggest thing but most of the instructor come from these product based companies come with experience right our
Correct.
mentors we have a huge team of mentors right we have like more than around 150 mentors now right so a huge team of mentors all of them are like final year college students from DTUs, NSITs, IITs, NITs, right?
Correct.
इन लोगों का भी
Correct.
प्लेसमेंट अभी अभी हुआ है ताजा बिल्कुल और इन लोगों ने भी बहुत प्रिपेयर किया इन प्लेसमेंट्स को क्लियर करने के लिए राइट और
Right.
फाइनली अभी उनके पास टाइम है उनको रियलाइज होता है कि अच्छा हाँ हम लोग हेल्प कर सकते हैं बाकी लोगों को राइट
Correct.
एंड दे गेट पेड for the work which they do also right so as a student you like it if you get paid for some work which you are doing right
Correct.
so all of these mentors essentially are a team of coming from across these colleges who are placed in all of these product based companies right and that's a little bit about the background of instructors and mentors in
Right.
terms of our background the 4 founders which we are there are all batchmates from IIT Delhi right
Correct.
Vishu has been a product manager before he's leading placements now in our team right Harsh is our CTO right so he was at EXL he used to work on machine learning models Priyanshu was with Shadowfax before this, right? That's another startup coming out of IIT Delhi, 5 years senior to us. They have built a massive business, right?
Right.
And he was working there. So all of us are batchmates from IIT Delhi. In our team, we are 20 full-time people now, right? Who are trying to run the entire show and growing very, very quickly on the team side also as we are growing on the student side, right?
Right.
So that's like a bit about our team, yeah.
Correct. So yes, I actually just wanted to also highlight the fact that most of the colleges are relying on people who have not been there, done that, trying to guide people to be there. And now that difference you are creating in the fact that you are getting people who've been there, done that. So I mean, just like you can't be like reaching the top level until you're there. So how could you mentor somebody like that? So I think it's a very nice idea that you have actually put through.
I have a small story also there, and I remember this because it just happened today, right? So there's a college in Udaipur, I don't want to name it, but we had one student who got placed after our program, through our program, right? Basically from that college. And just yesterday, that college reached out that if we can facilitate a training for their professors, right? And that is where the entire sort of circle comes back, right? Because they also realize that the real skills which are needed to be implemented, right, are not being updated in the college's curriculum. तो उनको भी रियलाइज होता है कि ये स्किल्स पढ़ाते हैं ना जब एक बच्चे की ये पढ़ के जॉब अच्छी अच्छी लग सकती है तो व्हाई आरंट वी ट्रेनिंग द स्टूडेंट्स ऑन दिस राइट एंड आई जेन्युइनली अपलॉडेड द कॉलेज दैट अच्छा है चलो आप लोगों ने इतना यू टुक अ स्टेप राइट एंड आई वुड बी हैप्पी टू एक्चुअली facilitate a training for those 10-15 professors and they can have a much higher impact for the coming batches right and so that's just like a small bit
I mean it's very interesting actually and it's also very commendable on their part to acknowledge that यार ये हमसे नहीं हो पा रहा है कोई अगर कर रहा है तो क्यों ना उससे बात की जाए क्यों ना उससे अप्रोच किया जाए so yes I just wanted to also take up another topic because I just want to summarize the discussion so far that if you want to be a full stack developer in the period of around 6 to around 8-10 months probably ACCIOJOBS will be a good opportunity for you that आप वहां पर enroll करिए मे बी एक छोटा सा रिव्यू प्रोसेस है जहां पर आप अपने आप को रिव्यू करवाएंगे उसके बाद आप वहां ज्वाइन कर सकते हैं और उसके बाद आप 7 डेज का जो ट्रायल है वो कर सकते हैं पे प्लस प्लेसमेंट का एग्रीमेंट होगा बिकॉज आपको कोई फीस देनी नहीं है जब तक आपका प्लेसमेंट नहीं हो जाता 5 लाख पर एनम पर तो ये जो प्रोग्राम है यश इसके अलावा भी आप कोई और नए प्रोग्राम्स ला रहे हैं क्या आपके ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में वो भी हम जानना चाहेंगे
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल सो वी बीन फोकस्ड ऑन स्केलिंग द करंट प्रोग्राम फर्स्ट राइट इसको इटरेट कर करके तो मैं ऑनेस्टली बताता हूँ कि हमारे बिजनेस में सबसे बड़ा चैलेंज क्या होता है राइट आप अगर एडटेक फाउंडर से बात करोगे तो वो सब आपको शायद यही चैलेंज बताएंगे कि स्टूडेंट्स बहुत सारे हैं इंडिया में क्योंकि ऑब्वियसली 10 लाख बच्चा हर साल ग्रेजुएट हो रहा है 40,000 कॉलेजों से निकल के आ रहा है सब में से बेयरली 20% की जॉब लग पा रही है राइट तो अ लॉट ऑफ स्टूडेंट्स आर देयर हु जेन्युइनली वांट जॉब्स राइट ऑन द अदर हैंड सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलपमेंट में कंपनीज जो है ना, उनकी भी लाइन लगी हुई है, टू बी ऑनेस्ट। एवरीवन इज लाइक दे हैव ह्यूज शॉर्टेजेस ऑफ स्किल डेवलपर्स, राइट। और जो बीच का पार्ट होता है ना, जो स्टूडेंट आएगा और उसको अपस्किल करके हम उस लेवल का बना दे कि कंपनी उसको एब्जॉर्ब आराम से कर लेगी, राइट, दैट इज द बिगेस्ट पार्ट टू क्रैक, राइट। तो हम लोगों ने इन द लास्ट 1.5 years इन द करंट प्रोग्राम के हमने ऑलमोस्ट इट्स लाइक द 20th बैच व्हिच वी आर गोइंग टू स्टार्ट, एंड उसमें हमने एवरी पासिंग बैच वी हैव सॉर्ट ऑफ ट्राइड टू इम्प्रूव द लर्निंग मेथोडोलॉजी एंड हाउ वी कैन मेक द स्टूडेंट लर्निंग एक्सपीरियंस इवन बेटर, राइट। कि अगर मेरा 80% बच्चा प्लेस हो रहा है तो अगले बैच का 85% बच्चा कैसे प्लेस हो, अगर मेरा 90 हो रहा है तो 95 कैसे हो, राइट। दैट हैज बीन द प्राइम फोकस टिल नाउ, and now that we feel that yes we can easily hit 85-90% placements for our batches, हम लोग अब मूव करके अब सोचने लगे हैं कि हाँ और क्या क्या प्रोग्राम्स लॉन्च करें। सो अ फ्यू प्रोग्राम्स व्हिच यू विल सी coming out in the coming months from ACCIOJOB will be another program targeted for premier software development jobs, right, जिन लोगों का हाई एनालिटिकल स्किल्स है, जो लोग डेटा स्ट्रक्चर्स एल्गोरिथम्स में अच्छा कर सकते हैं, उन्हें लगता है कि उनका लॉजिक बिल्डिंग बहुत ही स्ट्रांग है, राइट, उनके लिए हम लोग प्रीमियर एसबी रोल्स टारगेट करते हुए एक प्रोग्राम निकालेंगे। अगेन पे आफ्टर प्लेसमेंट ऑप्शन ऑफ कोर्स अवेलेबल, बिकॉज हमारा पूरा आइडिया ये है कि जो भी कोर्स निकालेंगे उसमें एम्प्लॉयमेंट तो आउटकम तो गारंटी करना ही है बॉस, right? So that is one line. The second place where you might just see a program coming out would be towards business analyst and data analyst job roles, which have grown a lot in the market recently, right? तो उस तरफ भी एक प्रोग्राम आप देख सकते हो। There are a few more programs which we have in mind, but I wouldn't want to commit that they would be going live soon, right? क्योंकि अभी यही दो हैं जो पाइपलाइन में थोड़े आगे हैं। बाकी प्रोग्राम्स जो हैं वो are still on like we are brainstorming if this is the right thing to do right now, right? क्योंकि our call and our sort of idea of thinking about launching a new program goes about, first step is that क्या मार्केट में डिमांड है इस चीज की इतनी ज्यादा, क्या बच्चे जो आएंगे उनको हम आउटकम गारंटी कर सकते हैं या नहीं, राइट। दैट इज लाइक द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट टू फर्स्ट check on. Yeah.
Right. So yes, actually just had a few thoughts in my mind. I mean, because we have already covered a lot of topics regarding ACCIOJOBs and the opportunities. I just wanted to ask you this question कि लोगों के मन में जो सबसे बड़ा मिथ है, जो मैंने आपको बताया पे पोस्ट प्लेसमेंट के अलावा, आपको क्या लगता है कि कौन सी चीजें लोग अभी भी लोग डरते हैं या बैरियर है उनके मन में इस तरीके के प्रोग्राम ज्वाइन करने के लिए? बिकॉज मैंने आजकल जो देखा है, आई ऑल्सो वांट टू शेयर माय पर्सनल एक्सपीरियंस दैट organizations are now valuing these skills. तो जो बैकग्राउंड है, मान लो बीएससी हो, एलएलबी हो, एमएससी हो, जैसे आपने बताया, वो इतना वैल्यू नहीं कर रहे हैं। व्हाट हैज बीन योर एक्सपीरियंस इन टर्म्स ऑफ, बिकॉज आप लोगों की मतलब मैंने वेबसाइट पर भी देखे कि इतनी सारी टॉप कंपनीज के साथ प्लेसमेंट्स और ये सब भी हो रहे हैं, तो व्हाट इज द ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल फीडबैक ऑन दिस टॉपिक कि जो भाई हमें रियली स्किल्स ही चाहिए या अभी आज भी हमें सीएससी के पीछे पड़े हैं या हमें आईटी ही चाहिए? व्हाट इज योर ओपिनियन?
एब्सोल्युटली अग्रीड यार। आई थिंक टेक इंडस्ट्री में फॉर्चुनेटली कंपनीज को ये रियलाइजेशन बहुत जल्दी स्ट्राइक हो रहा है, राइट। एक एडवांटेज वहां पे ये होता है कि टेक कंपनी जब हायरिंग कर रही है तो वो हार्ड स्किल्स को एक बार टेस्ट कर पाते हैं अच्छे से कि बच्चे को कोडिंग एक्चुअली कितना अच्छे से आता है, राइट। तो उनके लिए उसके बाद कॉन्फिडेंस गेन करना कि हाँ अगर वो सिविल इंजीनियरिंग से भी है तो भी अगर उसकी कोडिंग स्किल्स अच्छी है तो मैं उसे ले सकता हूँ, राइट। वो कॉन्फिडेंस गेन करना थोड़ा सा ईजी होता है। बट सेकंड फैक्टर वहां पे ये भी है कि टेक में शॉर्टेज इतनी ज्यादा है कि अगर आप एक बीटेक कंप्यूटर साइंस को उठा के लेके आओगे और हमारा ट्रेंड बंदा मैकेनिकल या सिविल का बिठा दोगे और वो बेटर परफॉर्म कर रहा है अगर कोडिंग टेस्ट में, तो आप खुद ही सोचोगे कि यार मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ, मुझे लेना ही पड़ेगा, इससे कोई ऑप्शन नहीं है, right? With companies, what we are seeing was that initially there were a few sort of repercussions कि हाँ आप लोग नहीं ले रहे, कुछ कंपनीज मना कर रहे हैं एलिजिबिलिटी में, but slowly and steadily once a few started getting absorbed, we started becoming much more confident कि boss you can just test them out कि आप प्रोसेस में नहीं बैठने दोगे तो नहीं है पॉइंट, आप प्रोसेस में बैठने दो, आपको अगर सही लग रहा है तो आप हायर करना, right? And because we also gained a negotiation position then, right? क्योंकि कंपनी हमसे 5 बच्चे हायर कर चुकी है, they want to hire 15 more, they are coming back every month to us to hire, they see that out of 50 people they interview from ACCIOJOB, they end up hiring 10, versus a company recently did a huge campus drive and they had 9,000 applicants, they closed 8 people out of that, right? तो इतना अंतर होता है कन्वर्जन में, and that is why I think that is why companies are slowly becoming even more acceptable towards it. Ki background is no bar now. It's okay if you don't have the background now, right? So I think we are seeing a very, very positive outlook from the tech companies, software development companies hiring irrespective of what the background looks like, right? I think that will happen very, very soon. In other industries, it might just take a little more time, right? Just probably इन सीनियर प्रोडक्ट मैनेजमेंट रोल्स में भी, राइट? तो शायद वो देखेंगे, अभी भी थोड़ा फिल्टर हाई रखेंगे कि हाँ एनालिटिकल स्किल्स बंदे का कितना है, और ये सब जज करना इतना इजी नहीं होता है, राइट? जितना कोडिंग स्किल्स जज करना है, तो उनमें प्रॉब्ली इट माइट जस्ट टेक सम मोर टाइम, बट आई एम प्रीटी कॉन्फिडेंट कि पूरी की पूरी इंडस्ट्री इज गोइंग टू मूव, एंड रिक्रूटमेंट इन जनरल इज गोइंग टू मूव टुवर्ड्स skill driven hiring, right? And I don't know, I am very hopeful कि colleges का the very idea of going to college for a fixed 4 years and getting that fixed degree वरना job नहीं मिलेगा, और ये सब कुछ I think धीरे धीरे will die down very quickly. Already like more than 50% colleges are struggling to fill their admission seats, right? So it's like a wake up call for them already कि boss कुछ तो गलत हो रहा है. And I think मतलब ये चीज यूएस में भी काफी तेज मूव हो रही है, राइट? वी कैन सी अ ट्रेंड अक्रॉस द बोर्ड, जो हमसे आगे चल रहे हैं उनके यहाँ पे भी ये हो रहा है, that people go to boot camps, people learn, people are skilled, they get hired, right? And we have also placed the dropout, right? So I can say that degree के बिना भी लोग place हो सकते हैं, right?
Correct. So yes, just one final question, because I now have complete idea about this program, और जो वीडियो भी लोग बाद में भी देखेंगे, I mean they will also get a clear perspective about it, because इसमें क्या है कि इसमें कोई छुपाने वाली बात नहीं है, ये पे पोस्ट प्लेसमेंट वाला प्रोग्राम है, आपको उन्हें पैसे देने हैं जब आपका एक सर्टेन लेवल ऑफ पैकेज बनता है, तो इसमें कोई वो बात नहीं है कि भाई पहले से आपको बेवकूफ बनाने वाला काम है, या वैसा कोई बिजनेस है ही नहीं. तो ये आपके सामने जो है अभी, नाउ यू कैन इमेजिन द फाउंडर ऑफ एन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन इज लाइक सिटिंग अहेड, talking in front of you, whatever are the things that are there in the program. Finally, one question I have, actually मैं ये भी थोड़ा फोकस जानना चाहता था कि आप लोग उन्हें टेक स्किल अपग्रेड तो करते ही हैं, राइट? जो आपने अभी बताया आपके प्रोग्राम के द्वारा, व्हाट इज द फोकस ऑन building them more towards placements? तो जो placement preparation का part है, how do you have a really rigorous process of placement training as well? Because कई बार क्या होता है, चीजें तो मैंने सीख ली, पर हर बार मेरा इंटरव्यू क्लियर नहीं हो रहा है, मेरा रेज्यूमे बढ़िया नहीं है, वो कुछ अगर आप थोड़ा बता सकें, so that we could also understand.
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल, डेफिनेटली प्लेसमेंट ट्रेनिंग इज समथिंग विच अब हमारे स्टूडेंट्स लैक करते हैं वो चीज, राइट? क्योंकि वो ऐसे बैकग्राउंड से आए कि उन्होंने कभी बोला ही नहीं है जाके, right? They haven't spoken in English too much. I myself had not spoken in English too much before I came to IIT. IIT में भी in fact first second year में third year तक तो मैंने कुछ I used to be a really nervous person to speak anywhere, right? वो बोल के धीरे धीरे कॉन्फिडेंस बन गया है अब कि हाँ बोल पाता हूँ, right? और वो सबके साथ होता है. 90% जनता जो आती है, they are weak in communication skills for sure, right? And even if they're not weak in communication skills, they haven't spoken or faced interviews, right? तो nervousness जायज है मतलब वहां पे होना. एंड इन प्लेसमेंट ट्रेनिंग वी गो वेरी वेरी होलिस्टिक, क्योंकि हमें पता है हमारा गोल तो जॉब लगवाना ही है फाइनली, राइट? तो हम लोग राइट फ्रॉम उसका रेज्यूमे बिल्ड करना, तो रेज्यूमे बिल्डिंग एक सेशन होगा जिसमें बताया जाएगा, फिर एक एक बंदे का रेज्यूमे 1-on-1 जब वो मेंटर के साथ होगा तो रिव्यू होगा, उसको मेंटर फीडबैक देगा कि मेरे हिसाब से इसमें प्रोजेक्ट्स आर लैकिंग, और मे बी एक्सप्लेनेशन ऑफ प्रोजेक्ट इज नॉट सो गुड, व्हाई हैव यू नॉट पुट अ लाइव लिंक टू योर प्रोजेक्ट, मे बी, right? That will make it look so much better on your CV, right? तो छोटे से छोटे पॉइंट से लेके बड़े से बड़े पॉइंट रिलेटेड टू रेज्यूमे, right? Then comes mock technical interview. तो हर बच्चे को हम ये भी इंश्योर कि वो एटलीस्ट 5 से 6 मॉक टेक इंटरव्यू तो ले ही रहा है, मतलब उससे कम में वो खुलेगा नहीं, राइट? उसको अभी हमेशा नर्वसनेस रहेगा, और हर मॉक का उसको फीडबैक मिलेगा. ही विल अंडरस्टैंड वेयर ही वेंट रॉन्ग, हाउ ही कैन इम्प्रूव. जैसे कि प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करनी है तो आपको you got to communicate and loud think your approach. ये सब चीजें उनको पता नहीं होती है. धीरे धीरे when they get into it, वो लोग खुलते हैं and confident होते जाते हैं, उसमें गेन करते हैं. Same goes for mock HR interviews also, right? तो HR interviews भी हम लोग उनको एक आध बार प्रैक्टिस करवाते हैं ताकि वो लोग they struggle to give a good answer to tell me something about yourself also, right? ये भी होता है. तो कोई बात नहीं, मतलब द प्लेस वेयर वी कम फ्रॉम, इट इज नॉट एक्सपेक्टेड कि आप बढ़िया कर रहे होगे वहां पे, क्योंकि आपको वो नहीं मिला एक्सपोजर कभी, कोई बात नहीं, राइट? तो वंस दे कम इन, वी हेल्प देम कि हाँ यार इसको बोलो, आप खुद से बोलोगे 50 बार, धीरे धीरे इंग्लिश बढ़ेगा, बेटर होगा. वी हैव ग्रुप जीडी सेशंस फॉर पीपल हु थिंक दे आर वीक इन कम्युनिकेशन. एवरी वेडनेसडे 5 PM ग्रुप डिस्कशन होता ही है, तो वहां पे आके वो लोग बोलते हैं, थोड़ा हर हफ्ते 6 महीने तक बोलते हैं, तो उनको खुद को ही रियलाइज होता है, उनका कॉन्फिडेंस यहाँ से यहाँ आ गया है. Right? So all possible things related to placement are taken care of. Coding tests होते हैं generally companies से as a first step. So every weekend, every Sunday को all students write a coding contest, right? Across these 6 months. So उससे उनका they get into this frame of mind that if I have to attempt 4 questions in 2 hours, how can I finish them off, right? So those things, all of those things are sort of very well taken care of, right? In fact, even if our partner company is doing a drive, let's say next week, We'll inform the students that what this is the company, this is the role, read up about the company, think of answers, keeping this company in mind, keeping this role in mind,
Correct.
polish those skills, tweak your resume a little bit for it. So all of those things are sort of taken care of by us. Yeah.
Right. So Yash, thank you so much for joining in, because I think it was a good detailed discussion on this topic, and also looking at your passion as well as the detail at which you are answering all of my questions. Let's put it this way. It's clearly a program I think everyone should definitely check out. You will find the link in the description box for this ACCIOJOB website. Go there, check it up, and enroll yourself. Get your free, maybe the programs that you have learnings in the initial process. See if it suits you. Definitely try. There is the most importantly, there is no bar for any pre-qualification in terms of educational background. So वहां पर आपको एक छूट मिल गई है. So I think finally I would like to thank Yash for your time for this interview, and probably we'll have some questions in the description, and maybe people will be commenting their thoughts. Probably somebody from your team probably could also reply to their
Absolutely.
queries. Would be a nice thing to do. Thank you so much, Yash, for
Absolutely.
joining in, and it was nice having you, and it was a great conversation. Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Thank you. Same here, Kumail.
Bye bye.